Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to answer all of your questions about living in community. For those of you who don't know, I currently live in a house with 15 other people. I have 15 roommates, so there's 16 of us in total. And before this, I spent the last 2 years living with 8 other people, and I have lived in community for a long time. My boyfriend Louis and I have lived in a community for a long time, and we've been talking about wanting to live in community for even longer. And both of us can see ourselves living like this for the rest of our lives. So I'm just so excited to be sharing this with you. I know it's quite a unique way to live from a lot of people around the world today. Historically, this is how humanity has lived and survived, but we've strayed away from that. But anyway, yeah, I know that a lot of people have questions. I've gotten like hundreds of questions because it's quite a unique experience, especially having this many roommates. So I'm excited to share everything with you. I'm gonna answer all the questions, how much it costs, what it's really like, all the good and the bad and everything. So yeah, stay tuned. And if you have any other questions that don't get answered in this video, leave them in the comments down below and I will make a part 2. Anyway, let's get started. Would move around, maybe answer a different question from different parts of the house, and I don't know, just make it a little bit more dynamic. But anyway, the first question, why do you want to live in community, and is it something you want to do long-term / with kids? I kind of feel like Louis should be here to answer this question with me, so let me see. He's in his office right now. This frame might not work for you.
It's perfect.
Where should we move it?
Can you stand on something? Or should I just crouch down?
Maybe we should sit down.
Okay.
We can't film things while we're standing. Why do you want to live in community? Is it something you want to do long-term / with kids?
Shall I go?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I've always loved living with people. Most of my living situations have been with a lot of friends. Something that's always, I guess, made me hesitant about, you know, a lot of society's idea of like getting married and having kids is, from what I see, you kind of isolate into your own little family unit and there's less time to socialize and hang out with people, and I don't know, that just has always been daunting for me. And the idea of staying in this kind of amazing community with a whole like diverse group of friends and then making that what we want to bring kids into as a couple, like that's super exciting to me.
Yeah, this is one of the first things that we connected on. Like, I think day 2 of us meeting, we talked about how we both want to live in treehouse villages growing up and like with a bunch of people and growing up, I guess, like in the future. And yeah, both of us just were like, whoa, you want that too? And it was really, really cool for both of us. But I went to boarding school. Louis grew up in like church communities, so we both grew up around a lot of people. And I love that, and I've always known I want to live like this forever and I want to raise my kids like this. So why? I think for me, I think we're meant to live together, and humanity used to always live like this in tribes and villages, and then it's only really been like the last couple hundred years that we've isolated ourselves. And today, like, success means being alone in a mansion with just like you and your kids, and that's it. And
your Lamborghini.
Yeah, and all your Lamborghinis, and that's like the opposite of what I want. I just want to be surrounded by people always,
yeah.
And life is just so much richer when you're sharing it with so many people. So that's why, I think, and 100% want to raise our kids together. And I don't want our kids to just grow up with our opinions. I want them to hear all the different types of people, different from different religions and backgrounds and everything. So yeah. The next question is, how does community living differ from just having a shared living space with housemates? And I think it's a very, very big difference. I know a lot of people who live with other people out of convenience. Usually it's cheaper that way, and that's great. And community living for me is like intentionally choosing to do life together. I think that's the difference. We're collaborating on things, and we are playing games and having fun and having deep conversations, and yeah, it's like wanting to spend tons of time together and to connect together. The next question is, how does everyone get along with 15 different personalities? And obviously some people are closer than others, and there's definitely lots of different personalities going on, and there are some clashes sometimes, but I love that we're all different. Honestly, we had a meeting a few days ago that got pretty heated, just like people having super strong differing opinions. And I said, you know, yes, this is difficult. And if we all believe the exact same things, this would be so boring. So I'm grateful for all of our differences, and we're all working through like different communication styles and just how to be healthier as a team, as a group, as a family. But yeah, I think that's the beauty of it, is that we all have different personality styles and that we can all learn so much from each other. I've learned so much from my roommates, and I've grown so much through the past couple years of living together. So yeah, it's hard sometimes, but it's worth it. I'm answering the next question in the bathroom because it is, what is the bathroom situation? Do you have a shower schedule? So we're super lucky with this house because this is a 9-bedroom, 7-bathroom house. So 4 of the bedrooms have their own bathrooms, like en suite, and then the other 5 bedrooms are sharing 3 bathrooms. So Louis and I have our own bathroom, but from everyone else, like this bathroom has 2 baths in it. So sometimes like our different roommates are taking baths at the same time or something, which is fun. But I mean, having so many shared bathrooms I think is really good, because if someone's showering in one and you really need to shower, there's always another one that will be free. So I haven't heard of anyone having any problems, but yeah, that's how we're doing it. Okay, I'm here with my roommate Kara so I'm answering questions about living in community, and I think this is a good one for you to help me answer.
Okay.
Are all of you extroverts? I can't imagine living in community as an introvert.
Okay.
Because she's very introverted, so I thought it'd be interesting.
Very, very introverted.
Yeah.
And I would say this is my first time living in community, but it's actually been absolutely amazing. And on multiple reasons, it actually helps me push out of my comfort zone and practice sharing my voice more with everyone.
Yeah.
But then also there is a lot of balance between having time for myself to recharge and kind of be in my hermit mode, and then time to integrate with everyone else.
Yeah, I think like everyone that asked me this question, I was like, I don't know if they understand that we all have our own rooms, because we all have like, this is Kara's space, so you know, her desk is here, so if you want to close your door and have meetings or just like read or just have alone time, you totally can. And if you want to go downstairs in the living room and hang out with people, you can do that too. So there's a lot of freedom. Yeah, it's great. The next question is it too noisy and loud sometimes? And honestly, this is how quiet our room is right now. I think because this building is over 100 years old, it's like really thick wood walls and doors and stuff, so it is really quiet. And quite often during the day, people are just working and quiet in their rooms. And I think this is the thing, a lot of people here living with this many roommates and they think it's like a frat house or sorority or something, and it's so not, because all of us are in our mid to late 20s or early to mid 30s, so everyone's working and responsible, and people aren't like party. Also, none of us even drink alcohol, so there's no partying, none of that stuff. It's like we're working or having conversations or playing board games, or like, it might sound boring to some of you, but it's like my dream life. But anyway, let me just open the door and I'll show you how quiet it is out here. See? Blue, do you think that it's too loud in this house sometimes?
Is it too loud, what?
In this house sometimes?
Well, I'm 70% deaf, so it definitely helps me. I also live at the bottom of the hallway.
Yeah.
It's like you get the best of both worlds. You can be a hermit and simultaneously a socialite, all wrapped in one.
Yeah. And then, what is your favorite thing about living in community?
That every single person is like a piece of fruit, and everybody has their own texture and taste and flavor and smell and essence, just like like a fruit. And it would be boring just to eat apple for the rest of your life.
Totally.
But if you get like the full buffet and the full fruit salad, then you can never get bored.
Yeah.
So it's like you get to experience all the different flavors of life and everybody's different stories, and it's just never monotonous.
Yeah. I love it. Oh, I love living with you.
I like living in a fruit salad with you too. Massive fruit salad.
Yeah. I'm gonna just keep coming back to the room to answer some of these, because it is obviously the quietest place in the house for me right now to answer these questions and film a video for you guys. But the next one is, how did you choose who would live here? So when we found this house, it had obviously a lot more bedrooms than our last house, and it would need a lot more people to fill it. So basically 4 of us from the last house decided that we wanted to move into this house, and all of us just posted on our Facebook pages and reached out to friends and anyone that we knew living in LA or wanting to move to LA, or people that like wanted to move or wanted to live in community, and we just spread the word. And honestly, I don't want this to sound like woo-woo or whatever, but truly the exact people that are supposed to live here, to the point where like every room is super unique and the perfect person is in each perfect room. I'm gonna do a full video like meeting all my roommates, and like I want to show you around other different rooms, but you will see when you meet people, you're like, whoa, that person is that room. Like they're made to be there. So I don't really know how to answer that question. We just spread the word. We reached out to so many people, and the people that were looking for a place at that certain time and within this budget all moved in. And it was like to the point where some people couldn't move in till a month later, and then someone else was like, I can only move in for the first month. So it feels like you're playing Tetris and like everything fits perfectly, but it honestly just all fits perfectly. A lot of you asked about what it's been like living in community and having so many roommates during COVID and lockdown and quarantine and all of that. So I thought that I would answer. And honestly, this has been super interesting because obviously it's been a lot to process through, like individually, let alone as a community, and how we all want to react and what we all want to do. And at the start, in March, there was a lot to process through because we were living at our old house there were 8 of us in that house, and people were on different levels of like how, I guess, strictly they wanted to quarantine and lock down. And one of our roommates was immunocompromised, and there were some other people that were like kind of feeling free and not really wanting to stop seeing some of their friends. But we had a lot of really, really important meetings around this because he's immunocompromised, he's worried about his health, and every decision that we all make doesn't just impact us, and someone wanting to go out and like see all their friends could possibly really, really negatively impact someone else in the house. So we had to, as a house, come to the decision to have like a super strict lockdown. And this is part of it. You have to compromise when you live together. And this is one of those compromises that, again, some people maybe wouldn't have done that if they didn't live with us, but I'm super grateful for it because we have been able to stay healthy all this time, and with almost 300,000 cases in LA County, that's huge to say. So I'm super grateful for that. And with this new house, we're also implementing different things. We've got a like thermometer to check people's temperatures when they come in. We've got hand sanitizer everywhere, and thankfully we have a lot of outdoor space here as well. So if someone is having someone over for a meeting or something, they can sit in the garden and sit 6 feet away, so they can fully socially distance and again wash their hands, wear masks. We are definitely, again, because we live with so many roommates and people are on different levels of comfortability and like health wise, we just all have to be extra careful. COVID-19 cases are rising in 39 states 9 months into this pandemic, so we all have to be like super, super careful, and especially with us living with so many people, especially we have to take extra precautions to make sure that everyone stays safe and that we do everything we can to keep everyone here safe. And something else that is very related to this is obviously a lot of people have been struggling financially during this time. It is estimated that more than 31 million Americans are unemployed during this time. I personally know a lot of people in my family and a lot of friends that have claimed unemployment during this time. So that, again, living in community, people have different financial means during this time, so how can we support each other? And we've had people come and say, hey guys, I don't know if I'll be able to pay rent next month. And we come together to try to see how we can help. Sometimes it's literally just loaning money. Other times, a lot of our friends are freelancers, so we'll spread the word about their work, or some of us will even hire them if we need help with something. And that's been really great to see people really coming together, because during this time, it is such a time of uncertainty for so many people, and I hope that everyone in our house can feel like we are a family and we're in this together. And I said this to one of my roommates, like, you will never have to move out of this house because you can't afford rent. We will all come together and support you in whatever way we can. And that just feels so good to feel so held during such a time of uncertainty. How do you find community members, and are there certain qualities you look for? What would you guys say? I feel like for me, it's a feeling. Like when you meet someone and you just feel that you vibe and you have shared values, and I really don't know how to explain it. My whole life I've done this. When I meet someone, sometimes I've met people and the next day like invited them on a week-long trip, or I've asked someone to move in with me like the day after I met them. So that's just for how I would say it. What would you guys think?
What I feel is like getting clear on what qualities you want in people. So for us, there were certain values and lifestyles and life choices that we were calling in our community. And then actually I just wrote this down. So that's funny that you walked in, but I wrote down this. So to know if it's the right community, as long as it gives you life, broadens your horizons, nourishes your truths, and empowers you to live your destiny, then that group is serving you. And if another group you're trying to make it work, or there's some cliques that feel good, but you feel like you're constantly feeling drained or not seen, or there's just things that aren't really clicking in alignment, then it's one thing to have, conversations that can be intense, but to really be like, who is nourishing your truths and who's supporting you and leading you towards your ultimate dreams and destiny, that's a yes.
Yeah.
So follow that fun and that yes, and the more you live your truth and find out what makes you feel good, the more the wrong people will kind of fall away. Not that they're bad, but just not right for you, and then the right ones just like magnetize. So
Also, I think something important to tune in with is, we become the average of the 5 people that we are surrounding ourselves with.
100%.
So if we're around people who aren't up-leveling us and who aren't inspiring us and who aren't trying to make us the best version of them, or who aren't trying to make the best version of themselves, how can we connect with them for ourselves? So we literally mold into that. So it's so important to just find those 5 and then five more of those and more of those, So I would say that's.
And then I'm asking everyone, what is your favorite thing about living in community?
living with Raya is a big one.
Favorite thing. Getting to support each other in all of our projects and endeavors is so beautiful. We literally help each other live and thrive and be, so that's one of my favorite things.
Yeah, I would say one of my favorite things is just, even if sometimes in community, you have to find a quiet space because it's loud, or you have to kind of adjust your comforts. To me, my value is, if I'm with the right people, then these are the tiny sacrifices that I will surrender to the betterment of everyone so I can be in this space. For me, one of my favorite things is that feeling of family, is that feeling of, you never are fully alone, and you can create alone time. And when you're around that many mirrors and reflections, you're constantly up-leveling and learning and going deeper into your own journey. So to me, that's one of my favorite things, is that you're never fully alone, and there's always people there to support you, and you're in family. So for the good or the worse or whatever that is.
All right, I'm in the kitchen to answer some questions about sharing food and splitting costs and kitchen and cleaning and everything. So here we go. How do you split cost of food, and is everyone vegan? First, yes, everyone is vegan in this house. So that was actually pretty much our one strict rule, is no animal products on the property. Most of the people living here are vegan full time. Some people can, anyone that wants to eat meat outside of the property can, but most people don't anyway, so that works out. And then splitting cost of food. So all of us buy our own food. So let me show you how we separate it. Turn this light on. So as you can see, so this is our pantry. We need to get new, nicer looking stickers, but yeah, this is all my stuff, Louis' stuff, and everyone's are separated by their name. And then we have these boxes too for some fruit and veg so that they don't attract any fruit flies. And that's how we separate dry goods or stuff that doesn't need to be refrigerated. And then in the fridge, again, we have the stickers with the names. So this is my roommate Lynette, this is mine and Louis' one, and yeah, everyone has their own one. We also have more fridges besides this. There's one in the garage and there's one outside, so we can all have more room than that. And then here is all shared things. So nuts, maple syrups, nut butters, rice, quinoa. There's all different things that we all share. We actually have a smoothie bar outside. So this is our smoothie bar. So again, there's individual boxes if people want to have special powders or anything like that. But then besides that, we have shared, here's spirulina, here's some vegan protein powder, cacao, all different things. There's usually bananas there, but we just ran out of bananas. And then in here, We've got like shared fruit and stuff and nut milks in there, and yeah, this is our shared smoothie station. Next up, how do you deal with cooking / cleaning / chores? So cooking, pretty much everyone cooks their own meals. We are trying to find a vegan chef that can do like meal prep for some of us, because a lot of people will just naturally end up ordering out maybe a couple times a week, and we just thought if we find someone that can come and like cook huge batches of food and just leave it for us, it's way more sustainable and more affordable. So yeah, we're trying to figure that out. But besides that, honestly, it hasn't really been that big of an issue. The kitchen isn't that big, as you can see, but it's worked out fine. Like at the most, maybe there's 3 or 4 people cooking at the same time, and you're just, you know, conscious, and you're not taking up a bunch of hobs, and honestly, it hasn't been an issue for me. I was a bit worried about the kitchen being so small with this many people, but it's worked out fine. Chores, we do have a list of chores up here, so you can see all the different things, and we are changing these every week. So all the different things to do. And then also dog poop. These are dog owners, so they are helping clean up dog poop. And then cleaning, this is one of the biggest questions we got. How do you keep it clean? Who cleans? All of that stuff. So obviously you saw the chore breakdown. So the idea with that is everyone is cleaning up after themselves, and definitely our house rule is leave somewhere better than you found it. So clean up after yourself, and there are people that are in charge of certain areas. So right now I'm on kitchen counters and floors, so I'm like, I will wipe down the kitchen counters and stuff. Ideally, again, everyone would have done it after themselves, but I will just make sure at the end of the night that there's like one last sweep done. And then we do all chip in to a house fund, which we use for things like that communal food storage that I showed you, the smoothie station, things like toilet paper and laundry detergent and soap and all of that stuff. One, I am looking for like really sustainable options for all those things. I found plastic-free alternatives for almost all of those things, which I will make a whole video about soon. 2, it is way more affordable if we're getting like in bulk, and it's way more sustainable to do that as well. And then 3 is just way more convenient. Like if all of us were running our toilet paper at different times, having to run to the shop, versus literally today we just got a huge delivery of like 60 rolls of toilet paper. That's just how we're doing it. And then the other thing with the house fund is we do hire cleaners that come once a week, every week, and they do like a deep clean, especially of the kitchen and the bathrooms. Again, split between all of us. It's super affordable that way, and it ensures that everything is cleaned like in a really good professional way. I want to show you guys something too, because one of the questions also is what is the biggest source of conflict? And I think it's like been proven that the biggest source of conflict for people living together is dishes, and people not doing their dishes and the sink filling up, and that has definitely been an issue in our house. So Louis had the idea. We now have a GoPro up here right above the sink, and as you can see, the sink is pretty much empty. That's not that bad right now. But Louis will watch back this GoPro footage and look in the sink, and if there's ever a plate that's been left, you can like scroll back and see who left it, which is amazing. It's just our way, like our fun kind of jokey way of fixing that problem, and it really has helped so much because no one wants to get called out, and we don't like do it in a mean way, an angry way. We're just kind of laughing about it. But I think that's definitely a good way to solve that problem. All right, back in the room. Next question, how do you split rent and bills? So basically, depending on how big the room is and whether the room has an ensuite bathroom. So our room and one other room are the 2 most expensive rooms, but depending, like because of the size and because we both have bathrooms. And our room is $2,900 a month. Plus, on top of that, we each put in, everyone in the house puts in $250 a month for those like shared bills and cleaners and all those expenses I was talking about. So yeah, that's how much our room costs. And then the cheapest room is $1,700 a month plus $250 per person again. So yeah, this is something like we're paying a lot of money to live here. Obviously this is a beautiful house, but a lot of people live with roommates out of convenience and to try to make it cheaper. All of us could probably find places to live cheaper, like if we were living separately, but we're all paying to live together. Louis came in and is making very loud noises. Okay, since you're here for the first question, I thought you should be here for the last one. What has been the most challenging and most rewarding thing about living in community?
Challenging. I think at the moment, figuring out how we share items in the house. or like doing shared food. That's the challenge for me. But in the bigger picture of things, like it's this tiny thing. Rewarding, I'd say, just like having this amazing loving energy in the house all the time. And because I think it's not just about living with people. Lots of people do that. It's not just about having other like housemates in the house. It's like we're really trying to like form a family here. So we're intentionally kind of wanting to support one another and stuff, and that's been amazing. Like we celebrated a little thing that I was super proud of last night for me, and Raya organised.
And also Kat, who you just met, she is recording a song, and she wanted all of us to sing on it, so we were like all recorded the chorus to her song, and yeah, it's really cool.
It's like truly being a part of each other's lives and celebrating each other's lives. I think that's the most rewarding.
Yeah, for me, I would say most challenging thing, I think maybe falling into a flow of when I'm working, when I'm socializing, when we're spending time together. Yeah, I think having a bit more of like a schedule around, that's just how my brain works. I just like planning things out, and sometimes it might go a couple weeks and we're like, oh, we haven't gone on a date night because we just haven't like scheduled it in. So, but I think that just is gonna come with practice, and we'll like keep scheduling stuff in, and then that'll work out. And then most rewarding, honestly, I have grown, I've said this before, but I've grown so much through this community and through living in community. Like I said, I went to boarding school, and through that experience and this experience, I think you just grow like 5 times faster, because if you're having a problem with something or you're unsure about something, instead of just like sitting with it and then maybe taking 3 days to like move out of that space, you just go talk to someone and you get different opinions and advice, and you just have so many people with different mindsets that can help you grow as a person. So yeah, I'm super grateful for that.
I guess just always having friends around, and yeah, I mean, I spent most of my time here in Los Angeles, 1.5 years doing everything all by myself, so it's really nice just having friends, and it feels like I've known you guys a lot longer because you guys have become more than friends. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Well, and everything's been going pretty good. Well, more than good. Great.
When I think about living in community, I feel like it's this level above or different on its own, separate from like having roommates, because it's so much more familial in the sense that like you're invested in each other's growth and success and happiness. So I feel like when you have roommates, they're just people who are there, who live under the same roof as you. But here we have, community. You actually are paying attention to what's each other's like goals and visions and dreams, and like, and you get close, and you're talking about, I feel like already, like we've talked about living here less than a month, more deep things. That is what I love about living in community, is having those people that are around you who you get to like form these deep relationships with, they're intentional. I think that is what I love about it, is that everyone is here to live together. It wasn't like, hey, I need to just find some place to live, and this was a room that fit my budget. It's like it can almost be the opposite of people that just were like, hey, I want to live intentionally and live with other people who are living intentionally towards having some sort of positive impact in the world, and like, or whatever it is that your community has. So like if it's whatever it is, for this house I know is very positive impact, and I love that. And so finding other people with that intention, and being around that intention is like, it's like recycling energy, but like synergy, it's building up off each other, and I think that's really cool.
Oh my goodness, living in community, what does that mean to me? So much learning. Whoa, because you've got all these different people that just are perfect mirrors for you to see like what is coming up in you, if something's triggering you, if something is exciting, and you get to celebrate other people and whatnot. So yeah, I would just say deep learning, so much fun, and then it's really cool because you can just go off into your own little space and just check in with yourself. But then also, if you want to be social, then you've got all these friends it's so great. I recommend it to everybody.
Everybody's like fighting for each other, like wanting to know, okay, what is it that you want with your life? Or how is it that you want to live? How can we do this together? And even though I've seen like tears and I've seen laughter and I've seen like fights and mess ups and stuff, it always comes back to, at the end of the day, okay, I want what's best for you, you want what's best for me, and how can we do that together? So that's what I've loved witnessing, and I really feel like family here too. So that's, you know, just again, not fully living here, but I see that and I feel like family and get to co-create that with you guys. So that's what I would say.
My favorite thing about living in community is probably just always having like a friend there, I guess, because like if I live alone, I can just be by myself for weeks and to be totally fine, but it almost like forces you to, I don't know, every time you have like a friend there and they ask you how you're doing, it's like more of like how you really doing. So you just kind of like have opportunities to check in. Like it's like a therapist. Like we have therapy sessions all the time, so it's like really healthy like for your mental health. What's your favorite thing? Am I missing something?
No, I mean, there's so many things.
Yeah, same.
You know, there's so many things. It's when you go from that level beyond being roommates and to actually being in community, you know, so. And we just made cookies.
And I wouldn't have made them without roommates.